Pike County Fiscal Court called to order. Madam Clerk, have a roll call of the members, please.
Judge Rutherford.
Present.
Magistrate Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate Johnson. Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Here.
And Magistrate Harris.
Here.
We will have Pledge of Allegiance led by Magistrate Murphy. We need approval of the minutes of November 20, 2012. Jeannie and I have reviewed the minutes, found them to be correct. You have one in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve? Have a motion, Magistrate Murphy, second Magistrate Johnson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Harris.
Yes.
Judge Rutherford.
Yes. My county is a county of champions, and there's no doubt about that, of the state championships that's been won. But we're all ambassadors, everybody, any role that you have in this county, or you go out into some other area in this Commonwealth or some other state, we are always ambassadors for Pike County, Kentucky. We are a proud county. We are in Central Appalachia, which means that more people volunteer for the Armed Forces of the United States of America when the Commander-in-Chief calls us to war from Central Appalachia than any place in America. Yes, we're the most patriotic area in America. But beyond that, we are in what's called the Bible Belt. And we are blessed, again, to be able to live in these mountains here in eastern Kentucky and Central Appalachia in the Bible Belt, where God means something to every individual. And we call on him to have the wisdom to make it through each day and thank him for what we're provided for. But we're here again to bring some young people, the attention to the people of Pike County, of how hard that these people have worked and strived to become champions. And it's a great event. It's a great event. It's an experience. As we go through, and all of us, most of us, all of us up here have been in some type of sports during our lifetime. Most have played basketball. Some played college basketball. But you all have achieved something that few have achieved. And a 17-0 record is the most impressive thing that anybody can look at this, at the Belfry Middle School. And the teams that you played during the year, and the teams that you played and defeated on your way to the playoffs. And Martin County, Greenup County, Mason County, Corbin, T.C. Knight, and Christian Academy of Louisville, Kentucky. And don't we like to beat those Louisville schools? Yes, we do, and those Lexington schools. And we've been very successful. We're also today, we have, and how hard cheerleaders work. How hard cheerleaders have to work and strive and same as you young people do on the football team, on the boys. But these girls who give their time and the parents, and sometimes we forget the parents when we talk about the things that the young people do and what the parents, and I know there are not many up here that's not taking their children to sporting events, take them to practice and pick them up. And I know that I wore two hats for a long time. I was in office here. Of the evening, I'd have to put my other hat on and go to a basketball game or football game or cheerleading. And it was something that built memories. And the leadership of the schools, and Matt Mercer and your coach, Mr. Thacker, and everybody that gave their time is a part of this as much as anybody. Matt, if you'd come around, I would like for you to recognize each one of these young people by calling their name. And we're glad to have Pike TV available so that their parents can see how proud that this county government is in regard to what these young people have, at this very young age, has been able to do as ambassadors for Pike County, Kentucky. Matt Mercer, we're glad to have you here at any time. And thank you for coming. Thank you for arranging this. And also want to thank Ms. Leslie Carter, who's here too. And of course, Mr. Thacker couldn't be here, but we have something you can take to him.
Judge, thank you so much for having us here. We are definitely glad to be here. When you start the season, this is kind of one of the things that you dream about, I guess, is at the end to look back and you've won all your ball games and just look at great success and so many memories. And we appreciate you having us here. Each of our board members, our board member Chris Harris, we appreciate the invite. The thing that makes me most proud about these guys is that I can honestly say that they get it done in the classroom as well. We ask them to give us the same effort, boys and our cheerleaders, as they give on the field and in the gym practicing, and that they do. I know many schools check their grades at the end of the week, and that's something that we practice on Fridays. We make sure that these guys are getting it done in the classroom because we preach to them that without academics, their future is very, very bleak in professional athletics. So that's something that we try to instill in these guys, and I think that they've proven that they can do that.
Matt, let Judge Hayes read the resolution before you call their names so that people will better understand really what both groups have achieved in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Judge Hayes.
It's a resolution of the Pike County Fiscal Court recognizing the Belfry Middle School football team and cheerleading squad for their state championships and for positively representing Pike County statewide. Whereas the Belfry Middle School football team has continued the tradition of keeping the Belfry Pirates synonymous with elite football programs statewide, and whereas after finishing the regular season undefeated and claiming the Pike County Championship, the Middle School Pirates went on to claim the Region 4 Championship and getting a number 8 seed in the first ever Kentucky Middle School Football Association 2012 and championship playoff. And whereas the Belfry Middle School Pirates defeated the Martin County Cardinals, Greenup County, Mason County, number 1 seed Corbin, T.T. Knight in the state semifinals on Saturday, November the 3rd, and Christian Academy of Louisville on Sunday, November 4, to claim the Division II state championship. And whereas at the event, Belfry Middle School cheerleaders also won first place in the Kentucky Middle School Association cheerleading competition. Pirate fans also won the PEP Award for Best Cheering Section. Therefore, be it resolved, the Pike County Fiscal Court does hereby recognize and honor Belfry Middle School's football team and cheerleading squad for their respective state championships and hard work, and for being ambassadors to Pike County. Witness this our hands, this the 3rd day of December in the year of our Lord, 2012, and executed by Judge Wayne T. Rutherford, Pike County Attorney Howard Keith Hall, who is present tonight to honor you with his presence, by the way, and each of the 6 magistrates who make up this court.
Magistrate Harris, your remarks and motion.
Well, Judge, I'm going to make a few remarks before I make my motion, and I'll make my motion at the end. I just want to say how proud I am of this group. You know, a lot of these kids are, my kids are the same age. I've watched a lot of them grow up, played basketball against a few of them, blocked a few of their shots on occasion, but these are a good group of kids, a real good group of kids. And what I like about about this team and about what I've seen, not only the football team, but also watching them on the basketball court too, is these kids, they take a little more than their share of the blame and a little less than their share of the credit. They're a very sharing team. They're good with each other, and they have brought a lot of pride to our area. And this is just the beginning of their careers. They've got these kids are 8th grade and below. They've got a whole lot of football and basketball and athletics and life to live, and they're really off to a good start. So I want to thank also the cheerleaders. You guys kept the fans in the game. I was there, and I was in the rain delay, and I can't imagine being out there cheering in those kind of conditions with the lightning and thunder and all that stuff. There was actually a delay in the game. We had to leave and come back. But you guys kept everybody going, kept the crowd into it, and we appreciate all that you all have done. And that's a state title for the cheerleaders as well. But it is with great pride that we have you guys here to honor you and thank you for what you've brought back to our community. You all are off to a good start. Keep up the good work, and I know that good things, great things are going to happen for all of you. And I'll be happy to make the motion, Judge, that we adopt a resolution honoring these great kids.
Have a second, Mr. Dotson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr.
Judge,
Anderson?
before we vote, I would like to say just, I
All
don't
right
want to
ahead,
take too much
Mr.
of your
Dawson.
time, but, I represent part of these people from Blackberry. We got to include Blackberry in this Belfry squad. That's right. And I'm sure there's some people back there that are from Blackberry, and that's my area, and I'm very proud of it. And it's a good feeder school for the Belfry. I just wish Phelps had been able to had Blackberry a few years ago, Matt. And Matt is one of the old Phelps Hornet people. He grew up in Phelps, and I like to say he's my cousin too. So I'm proud of you too, Matt.
And
So that's all I had.
And a
Judge.
decent fisherman. Decent fisherman.
And Judge, this doesn't happen without the coaches and the administration, the staff, and the parents too. I mean, they're a big part in these kids' lives, especially at this age. And speaking from being a parent and traveling around all over Pike County to watch games, and you take your kids here and you take your kids there because you want them to have the best and to do the best. And parents really deserve a big pat on the back for what they put into these kids because they've all done a good job.
Matthew, proceed.
I also want to thank our parents on behalf of Coach Thacker, who's not able to be here tonight. I really appreciate all the community support, people throughout Pike County supporting our team and our cheerleaders, and the outpouring's just been tremendous. It's very special when you go to Lexington and walk into an arena and you have 3 and 4 times the fans that some of the closer by schools have. And that just shows what kind of support we have here in Pike County. One of the things we told the guys before they took the field and before they got on the bus today even is they represent not only themselves but their families, their parents, Belfry, our school, and Pike County. And they've represented East Kentucky well. Guys, when I call your name, I need you to come up, come around, and I think we're going to get a group picture in the back. Devin Varney, Andrew Fletcher, Cameron Catron, Chase Dove, Matt Olson, Jacob Parsley, C.J. Fields, Austin Woolham, Moses Waddell, Michael Hackney, Derek Wellman, Josh Keithley, Josh Thacker, Mikey Sesko. No, go right around front. Right around front. Ray Horton, Austin Hall, Cole Bentley, Braden Priest, Greg Staggs, Austin Dotson, Zach Roberts, Anthony Thompson, Caleb Whitt, Nathaniel Adkins, Brandon Goosenau, Austin Varney, Jordan Wolford, Caleb Lewis, Lee McCoy, Jonathan Webb, Austin Blankenship, Austin Fields, Tyler Gannon, Zach Gibbs. Our head coach is Coach Elbert Thacker, and assistant coaches Jeremy Howard, Herbie Dotson, Eric Rash, Cody West, Andrew Elkins, Ivan Lee, Gary Hall, Mark Cook, Van Gibbs, James Harden. you'll get a certificate.
You going down there or not? Let's go. Okay. They'll put it somewhere. Stand right here. That's it, Sheriff.
Is he all over for me?
Write their names down. You want me to get in? Don't want to say a speech.
I can meet you that they won.
You don't want to hang it up in your
First and
bedroom?
15th
That should be a
region. They
senior.
compete Saturday.
Should be a senior.
They compete this Saturday, the first ever state at large K-Plus cheerleading competition in Richmond.
Okay. At this time, we're going to call up our cheerleaders, and one thing I can say about them is we traveled the entire postseason as far as Mason County and Greenup County, Johnson Central, and Lexington. We played 7 postseason games and 11 regular season games, and our cheerleaders practiced 6 days a week and never missed one ball game, no matter how far it was, and that's a lot of time and money out of parents and families' pockets, and they did it because they wanted to, and we can't say enough about these girls, and I was so happy to see them win because of the time and the sacrifices that they had made to support our guys. So when I call your name, girls, we need you to come up, and we're going to get a group picture as well. Sabrina Canada, Maya Jones, Anna Deskins, Kirsten Leedy, Hannah Smith, Taryn Jones, Aaron Atkins, Hannah McCoy, Lindsay Miller, Summer Hilton, Gia Hatfield, Jordan Curry, Maddie Adkins, Maya Smith, Kylie Stanley, Carly McCoy, and Lexi Jones.
Johnson set it off. Johnson set it off. Oh, yeah. Oh, can. Yeah, smile.
Somebody's pen.
roll call.
Judge, you never had
Roll call on the resolution.
roll call on resolution.
Madam Clerk, let's have a roll call on the resolution. You had your motion and second.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Yes. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. We want to thank you all, and we're all proud of you. As you could tell, we were elated to have you all over to this meeting, and elated to let the people of Pike County and Eastern Kentucky know that what you all have achieved for your school and your county and your state.
Judge, while you're looking through your minutes, I'd say Louisville Central better watch out for this group because they're coming after them.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of others following these young people as time goes by. As Chris said, their sporting it's ahead of you. And Chris, I asked Chris or John Doug where number 44 was. I found him right quick, Chris. But John Doug said he wanted to sign on as his agent, Brandon. But what an opportunity it is, and what a great event that happened, and you all caused it to happen. I tell my staff all the time, things don't just happen; you got to make them happen. And your principal stated what the work that all of you all have put into it, the sacrifice the parents have had, teachers, coaches, and everybody, and it paid off. Thank you again. We need a motion to amend, and Mr. County Attorney, you can explain this. We had a decrease in the contract we had with the United States Corps of Engineers on law enforcement at Fish Trap Lake with the Pike County Fiscal Court, and that being the Sheriff of Pike County. Mr. County Attorney.
Judge, they finished the work under the contract, and the hours have been computed, and the amount under the contract was decreased by $122.12. So this is just mainly a housekeeping matter to have the contract reflect the actual hours performed and the amount received.
Any questions in regard to the amendment to the contract with the Pike County Fiscal Court and the Sheriff of Pike County for law enforcement at Fish Trap Lake? A decrease, as the county attorney explained it, of $122.12. No question, to have a motion. Motion by Magistrate Robinson, second by Magistrate Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Acknowledge that we have received the Mountain Water District budget for January 13th through December 31, 2013. Have a motion. Have a motion to have a second. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. We need to discuss the changing of the next meeting, because the next regular meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court is on January 1. And, of course, we all know what that is, the first day of the new year. We have a recommendation, and Jeannie looked at the calendar, of meeting on January the 3rd. What day of the week is that, Jeannie? Okay, are there any questions in regard to that, or does anybody want to look at their calendar?
If you just give me 1 second, Judge.
Okay, there'll be a special meeting, Madam Clerk. We'll have to advertise. It'll be January the 3rd, 2013, 5:30 p.m. in this courtroom. Awarding of bids. No bids. Magistrate Roadwork.
Motion.
Motion, Magistrate
Second.
Anderson. Second, Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Dotson,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Judge Ruthville.
Yes. Magistrate comments?
I don't have any
Magistrate
comments,
Anderson.
Judge, this time.
Hey, go ahead, Magistrate Johnson.
I don't have anything to do.
Magistrate Dotson.
I'd like to say that we had a real good meeting in Louisville this past week, and sitting in some of the classes there, we probably need to get you to get our flex money on order for our rural secondary roads. They said in the class that they was waiting on us to send them a list so they could break down the money and send us back the money to do our secondary roads. And I don't know, we probably won't get anything done this year. I think Frank said the asphalt plant was going to close this week. But I'm afraid if we don't get our money in place that we might lose it.
Mr. Road Commissioner, you
What
already
y'all need,
prepared your list.
well, each magistrate needs to, like we've done before, pick the roads out, get a quote on them. They give you about $60-some thousand a piece. I think there's 500,000 down there, and like we've always done, and then that way, kind of, divvy it up. Because we just send a whole bunch from each one of you, and they just do the picking, and you don't want that.
Well,
Yeah. That's the way we've always
What
done
you've
it.
always done it the same way that
we
you've
should have
always-
already had these turned in the way I
John
understand it. A couple of months ago, and we could have probably got blacktop this.
It's 90-some thousand.
There'll be more money than there was the year before, so the treasurer has told you her estimate of what it will be.
Well, each county, he said, was classified A, B, C, and D on according to how much money they're going to get for the rural secondary road. So, Frank, you might want to find out what category we'll be in. He said that they would
We all,
classify.
Magistrate Dotson was talking about the meeting, and Magistrate Harris, there was almost 1,200 public officials attended that meeting. And Magistrate Dotson and I was talking about the Attorney General of the Commonwealth addressing the crowd and talking about the Commonwealth of Kentucky and Pike County, Kentucky versus Purdue Pharma in an OxyContin case that got sent off to New York City and got held hostage in a court that had no business having the case to start with because of their high-priced lawyers they had, and that's what he said. And he said, as Attorney General of this Commonwealth, that he'll probably look back and the most happiest time in his life will be when he comes to the Pike County Circuit Court and that case gets back at any time from New York, and that he looks at a Pike County jury, and he said that I will be here to Pike County as of that panel in that case for the Commonwealth and Pike County. And Hillman Dotson and I were talking about it before this meeting, and he talked about that case and said that the money, of course, was going to be used for rehabilitation. Now, he predicted that the case would get back any time, and then he predicted that the case would be settled, which means that we can look forward. And, of course, Gary Johnson is the attorney for Pike County Fiscal Court, who gave his time at no cost. We have a contract with him. But we need to make sure, and we talked about that, of making sure today with Judge Hayes and the county attorney that Gary Johnson gets involved in this mediation for the settlement as soon as that case gets back here, to look out for the interest. Because Pike County, Kentucky was the area hit most hardest by these pharmaceutical companies who sent their people into this county and convinced the medical community that they had the greatest, most powerful drug to stop the pain that was not addictive. And we know what it's done to our people. And of course, we know that we've done everything we could do as a government body. This court, we have $90,000, Magistrate Robinson, I think, in the old Lookout School already through this court. To West Care, we need to make sure that that facility is completed and operating. We had another extensive and long meeting with West Care from Nevada, from Atlanta, somebody from Atlanta, and their local people here in regard to the Justice Building of getting it ready for a rehabilitation program at the Pike County Jail, renovating the Circuit Court Clerk Room. I wrote a memo to Jeannie asking her to get a meeting set up of the same people that was here on the sign-in sheet so that we can begin planning when this case gets settled and when this money becomes available. And the Attorney General just plainly said that this is a winnable case, that it is a good case, and he wants that Pike County jury, but they won't want to face it. They have settled cases in the millions and millions of dollars, largest being at Abington, Virginia Federal Court. They have settled that. They have settled one case with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This is the second case they have with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And many of you remember when this government body, we started this lawsuit. Greg Stumbo, Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, he came here, if you remember, out back by the statue, and we had a press conference. We immediately left that press conference, went to Frankfurt, and in the conference room of the Attorney General of the Commonwealth, announced this lawsuit with Gary Johnson, the Attorney General, and myself. And this government body, this Pike County Fiscal Court, has done everything that we humanly possible and with money could do. The sheriff has wore out his vehicles, and we've had to replace his vehicles by hundreds of thousands of dollars because of this scourge. Good people, good church-going people, good people that never had any intention of violating the law. And they got them hooked on this. I told Pat the other day, with the pain I have in my eyes continuously, I can see why people get hooked on drugs. But I'm just one that don't take it. But still, if it was OxyContin, then I would have been hooked like anybody else if I had taken it for the problem that I have. But the good people, and we saw it. We saw 30-some indictments of one time in this county of women for doctor shopping. And yet it was the most dangerous drug in the history of the world, not only in America, but around the world. And look at the heartaches, and I know that I've been to, and all of this court had been to funerals. Nobody, including my family, has been spared from this scourge of drugs. And I know that nobody, it's either your family, your neighbor, or somebody in your church. And it is something that they need to pay, they need to be made to pay, and that money needs to be spent wisely and need to be spent on rehabilitation and facilities to do that. The sheriff needs to get, this county needs to get reimbursement for a portion of that money for what we have been out when it comes back. The Attorney General of this state is very confident. I think it evidently, and he had been contacted, Hillman, in regard to wanting to mediate this case. So it was one of the better meetings. Magistrate Harris, I know that we had a good meeting when you was president, but this meeting was really an informative meeting, and I thought that the board did a good job of what the people they brought to it and the presentation that was made. And we all never get too old to learn, and we learn every day. But what we learn most is talking outside of those meetings that Magistrate Dotson was talking about, talking with other people. Judge Settles, Washington County, walked up and said, "Did you ever get your procedures? I asked the state to send you on the animal shelter." I said, "They never did send them." He is chairman of the board appointed by the governor of a commission in regard to animals in this Commonwealth. And also a talk to Vince, who's with the Judges Association. And they're going to send, Mr. County Attorney, we're supposed to get some emails in regard to the procedures at the animal shelter so that we can get the advisory board started so that we can bring them together as a body and proceed. And here I am taking up Magistrate Dotson's time. Magistrate
Judge,
Dotson.
you done a good job on that report, and you know it makes you proud to be from Pike County when you go to the meetings, because it seems like Pike County is on top of a lot of things that the other counties are not on top of, and we just got a good group of people in Pike County that gets things done, and they look at us when we go down there as being a leading county, and you know, Doug, your role you've done in 911 system, it goes all over the state, and you know, just things like that. It means a lot when you go down and you hear people bragging on your staff and the people that we have working for us. But Judge, you know, like you said, it was something that was worth listening to from the Attorney General. You know, he was real impressed about the ruling that New York sent back. And he said he was looking forward to coming here trying that case. But we'll move on, and I just wanted to say that we forgot to mention Damus Ramey in our prayer tonight. I think he had open heart surgery today.
You give a prayer yourself now for Damus, and explain what he's been through, and then go ahead and just do a prayer.
Well, Judge, I kindly got a little bit, John, is he had 2 heart attacks.
As I understand it, the latest report we have, yes, he had suffered the second when they were debating on whether to do this surgery, and then after the second one, the second incident, he went in today, had the surgery. I think there were 3 bypasses required, and as I understand it, he came through the surgery fine, and he's in ICU now. So,
We got another one over in the hospital too that works for the county. He had a couple bypasses this morning. Burt Boy.
Who is it?
Burt Boy.
Burton Moore. I'm going to remember him in prayer too.
Steve Burke.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve Burke.
Steve Burks.
Let's bow our heads again, and you know, Damus has been a long-term employee, 20 plus years, and we miss him and hope he gets along good. But Almighty and worshipful Savior, we just ask you tonight to just put your arms around them, and Burke and Damus both, and just their families, Lord, are going through a lot, and just give them comfort, Lord, and bless them that they'll have a speedy recovery and come back to work soon, Lord. We just put this in your hands and know you're a merciful Savior, Lord. And ask all this in your name, Jesus. Amen. But Judge, going on, we talked to, I know Chick's want me to hurry up. He's telling me to cut this stuff short, but I think it's important. You know, we had a meeting last week with the state, and it's some things that we discussed. And Wendell Keith Hall, our state representative, was at the meeting in Louisville. And I asked him, I said, Keith, I understand we lost our $1 million that we had for 194 from Phelps to Pikeville. He said, yep. He said, Hal Rogers chose to take it to Somerset and spend it on I-66 at Somerset. So I think the public and the media needs to know that it was no call of our choosings. And I know you said you're going to try to get to the bottom of it to find out where the money is and how come it to leave. But I just want the people in the Phelps, Johns Creek area know that we're not getting that money as of now. And if you want to chime in and say something.
Magistrate Dotson, we have a meeting set. Jeannie, the date's not set yet, but we have a meeting set with Hal Rogers' staff, McConnell, Rand, Governor Beshear's Eastern Kentucky representative. We have a meeting that's being set up. That's going to be on the agenda to discuss with Brendan Smith to give us a report back in regard to the $1 million, because that money was allocated by Congress to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and then it was allocated to build a road, and had to be spent on a connector road that in the future would be to I-66. And that road had been already, we had been told in county government where that money was going to be spent originally, and then they got permission to spend that money on the main road, 194, and the main road going into Phelps. And then to come to find out, and to find out the way that we did, then of course we are disappointed. We ran into this problem, if you remember, Magistrate Anderson, in regard to the road going down Johns Creek. We got the bridge, but we didn't get the road. It was taken out and the money moved somewhere else. We didn't get the road from the top of the hill to our airport down to the new bridge. I'm glad, Magistrate Anderson, they evidently forgot to take the bridge out, so they had to build the bridge. But the road has never been improved. We got it put back on the 6-year plan, but we, Magistrate Dotson, that is going to be on the agenda. We will discuss it with the Congressman's staff.
Thank you, Judge. And talked to him also on our trail system, and
I have that on the agenda.
I asked him what their plans was for our trail system, and he said there was people working on the multi-county trail system. It was in process right now, and I asked him to include me or let me know something that we can be a part of it, because we are looking forward to these trails. And I gave Roland some things there that he might want to look at, him and John Doug, on some different laws that we might be able to implement on our trail systems. But I'm looking forward to the one up at Elkhorn. It's a start. I think 17 miles is better than a snowball, and we could start from there. But I just want to continue talking about the trails, because I believe in it, and I think it's going to happen, and I think we need to stay on top of it and push it. And I'd like to say that I want to thank Frankie and Frank for getting the pickup truck ordered and got it in, and Jeff called today and said it was ready. His staff put the solder and the blade on, so they're ready for the first snow with it. So,
yeah, when I said the last time, let's approve it on an emergency basis because of the snow. Folks, it's 70 degrees out today.
I hope we don't have to use it, Judge. But, it's there if we need it. And seen in the newspaper where Majestic sewer system is a little bit closer. They'd let the bid out to an engineer firm. So, we're looking forward to that. And I guess you've got a big check that you're going to take to Kemper on Thursday.
Yes, we do have, Jeannie. We have a check, and we'll meet you over there, and we'll get the check delivered.
To finish the complex. And, we just got a lot going on, and we need to keep moving. And I just appreciate everybody on the court and all the staff. And when you look out in the audits and you don't see any people there, then something is going right. Used to,
and when we had Channel 99, Master Dotson.
When we had a courtroom of people, then somebody is not doing the right thing. So
I had 3 people in the office this morning said, I attend every one of your meetings. One lady said, you used to look and see me sitting back there, didn't you? I said, yes, I did. I missed you. She said, well, you've all put Channel 99 in. I said, at the house now I'm watching.
Yeah, we need to thank you, Pike. They're doing a tremendous job, not only with the court, but the whole county. They're showing everything. And I think that is our best tool is to let the people see transparency and see what the county government is doing for them. And that's all I'm going to have right now, Chick. I'll be quiet.
I just wish we had this new television sometime.
Master Harris.
Thank you, Judge. And you're right. The KCO meeting this year was one of the largest that we've had. I've attended my last executive committee meeting there at the convention. So I rotate off that executive committee and being replaced by Hubie Pollitt, who's a magistrate longtime magistrate from Shelby County. He's been real involved with the organization, and he'll do a fine job. I am proud to present to the fiscal court a check from CAECO in the amount of $27,946.68, which is our annual rebate for our leases. So I'll ask you to pass that down to Jonda. And I also spoke with Rick Smith, who serves on the same board as the Washington County Judge Executive for the animal shelters. And he says that the problems that we're going through are pretty common problems throughout the state, that having the different organizations work together, and that they have a pretty good system in Clark County, and that he'd be happy to talk with us if there's somebody from your office that wanted, or our director would like to go down and see how they're running their shelter there. He's offered to explain to them what they're doing and help them come up with some sort of policies and procedures that will get everybody working together.
Get Rick's number for him.
Magistrate Harris, for you to bring that up, we have the Boone County Animal Shelter Director, Becky Ryder, is coming Thursday and Friday to go through our shelter, go out in the county with Jason on pickups, and give us her recommendations of what we can do to do better.
She is going to. Excuse me. Becky Ryder will be here Thursday and Friday and Saturday if needed, and she is the director of the Boone County Animal Shelter. She is going to get us her policies and procedures also. We're making progress. We sent out the letters today for the advisory committee. We were going to meet this week, as a matter of fact. However, since Becky was coming in, we thought it'd be good if our staff could go ahead and meet with her Thursday and Friday. And so that will be done the next week. So this is good, this Clark County business. The more information we can get, I just think if we can ever get everybody on the same page here, all the group that are interested in animals, and this, and I know this court is willing to work with anybody, any and all comers, I feel real good about the future of what we're getting ready to do down at our animal shelter. We have the facility now. We don't have to take a back seat to anybody on facilities. So I feel good about it. Thank you.
Well, we've got a lot of people, obviously, that are interested and care a lot about the animals in the county and care a lot about the shelter. And it just, it's up to us to be able to harness that and get everybody working together. And I think that's definitely a doable project. One speech that I found interesting and that people in the county ought to be aware of, particularly fire departments, was the auditor's speech, where he was talking about all the different non-governmental /governmental entities that could very well have to start providing financial documentation, some responsibility. And from what I understand, House Bill 1 that's going to be introduced in the legislature this year is going to be something related to these taxing districts, nonprofits that are going to have to be transparent in their accounting. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, I haven't seen the legislation yet, but it's something that the auditor is pushing hard for. And obviously it's got some support in the legislature. It wouldn't be House Bill number 1. So
I understand that there was multiple statutes already in existence, and they're going to try to pull them all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole lot of different.
Taxing districts is looked at very different than just for some reason. But that's about the third time I think we've heard that presentation, and he's really got it down pat now.
Yeah, I mean, I think his position is if you have the authority to spend tax dollars, then your operations should be transparent, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Well, it was as much. I mean, it was as much as the state budget. I mean, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head exactly what the figure was that he said was spent by these taxing districts, but it was just a phenomenal amount of money.
And that was the first thing that Speaker Stumbo mentioned in his presentation also.
Yeah, it was so many $1 billion. And I don't know exactly what the number was, but it was a huge amount, huge amount. Anyway, that's all I've got, Judge. Thank you.
Madam Treasurer.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health and life insurance.
Have a motion. Motion by Mr. Robbins, second by Mr. Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Pass over the next piece on the agenda. Authorize a standing order to pass through funds to Shelby Valley Volunteer Fire Department as documentation is submitted from coal severance projects not to exceed $20,000 once the funds are received.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Authorize a check in the amount of $42.75 to Tracy May for being an election officer alternate.
Have a motion. Have a motion. Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
We got our bill from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield where we took the 90% premium during the fiscal year 2011-2012. We need to pay them back $193,587.08. $140,893.15 comes out of the consolidated account, and the solid waste account owes $52,693.93.
Was that the entire amount, John? So we ended up having to pay the entire amount. They tried to bribe us to keep our claims low, but I guess it didn't. I guess it didn't work.
Motion. Have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
I abstain.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
Under additional treasurer's business, some things came up today that needs to be addressed. Authorize a check in the amount of $20 for the entry fee in the Christmas parade to the city of Pikeville.
Have a motion.
Motion.
Have a second. Have a roll call vote. Motion by Mr. Anderson. Second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
Authorize the solid waste bills be placed on the 2013 tax bills and issuance of a check upon notice from the U.S. Postmaster that the amount to mail the solid waste annual billing and annual renewal fee not to exceed $12,000. And there's
Have any
copies of a
questions or
letter.
motions? Have a motion. Have a second. Second. Mr. Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
Authorize a check in the amount of $265.22 for the freight and handling to Recreonics Incorporated for the pool cover.
Motion by Mr. Dodson. Have a second. Second by Mr. Harris. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
Authorize a check, before I had gotten approval to pass up to $26,000 to the sheriff, well, they want us to send, of the $11,000 and odd dollars that they're getting, they want a check to go to Paul Miller for 2 invoices for equipment installation from his coal severance money. So I need the authorization to issue a check to Paul Miller Ford on behalf of the sheriff's coal severance money and $5,906.
That's in the guidelines. That's in the guidelines. Have a motion.
Motion.
Have a motion, Mr. Johnson. Have a second. Mr. Murphy. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Also authorize the registration fee of $349 and mileage for Deputy Judge Hayes to attend employee documentation, discipline, and discharge February 28th at the Hyatt Regency in Lexington. The check needs to be made payable to the National Business Institute.
Motion.
Have a motion, have a second, have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Madam Treasurer.
I have no further business, Judge.
Let me introduce to you Clifford Robinson. We're not going to ask him to talk tonight because we haven't showed him how to turn the microphone on. But Clifford has been how many years, Clifford?
27.
27 years with the county, and he is he's doing the job right now on a temporary basis for our friend who went through an operation today, Mr. Ramey. Does any of the commissioners or directors have any questions of us this evening? If not, we'll go to the personnel. Judge Hayes.
I have given, just a few minutes ago, I apologize for the lateness. I didn't realize we hadn't handed them out, but you have a list of the personnel matters. There's nothing on there controversial. It's all cut and dry. And I've told each magistrate if you, after looking at this, or if you know of any reason why we need to go into executive session, well, we'll certainly do that. But not having heard anything, I'll start with the personnel. We had 4 matters that were placed for a bid since our last meeting, and these are as follows. First, animal control helper to animal shelter, 3H rate of pay. There were 4 bidders, but only 1 full-time. Pursuant to our policies and our code, the full-time bidder, of course, has priority over the temporaries, and that full-time is Jason Burke. I will add that he is a qualified employee because he has his certification as an animal control officer. He's completed the course, and he does have a high school education. Next, mini packer driver, solid waste area number 1. 3H pay rate. Frank Sullivan was the only bidder. He had been a temporary replacement worker. He somehow bid on that job. I guess we allow him to do that, but he is qualified. He has a Class A CDL. I will ask that pursuant to this court's policy on these drivers that the commissioner of solid waste, Bobby Mullins, check him out. But I would recommend that the court go ahead and qualify him. Employ him as a full-time driver. He is on a 6 months probationary period, as are all employees. So, Bobby, if you'll make sure he can, in fact, drive a mini packer, I'm sure he can with a Class A, but and report back to us if there is a problem. But we do recommend Frank Solomon for that position. The next one, mini packer driver, solid waste area number 1. Judge Frank Sullivan also bid on this one, but he wants the one that I've just recommended. It's the same solid waste area, so there's no difference. So that means that is an open position, and I would recommend, Judge, from our list of applicants, a name that had come highly recommended to me, Mr. Gary Blake Owens, for that position. He has submitted an application. He does have a CDL, and he is fully qualified. Is that right, Magistrate Robinson? You know him. He's from up in your district, I believe. So I would recommend Gary Blake Owens for that mini packer driver position in solid waste area 1, a 3H pay rate. Next, we had a loader. We had a number of people bid. They were all temporary except 2. We had 4 temporaries and a replacement worker, Frank Sullivan, bid on that job also. The others were temporary, but we had 2 full-time. The full-time employee with by far the most seniority is Clyde Witt, and we would recommend Clyde Witt for the loader, solid waste area number 5 at Stone at a 2H pay rate. Next, we need approval of the court to transfer Dwayne Cliff Robinson from his position as carpenter in Public Works to the position of temporary Public Works Director at a 4A pay rate plus longevity, effective 11/27/2012. He would be replacing, of course, Damus Ramey. Next, we need approval to hire Nicholas Smith as a temporary loader for solid waste area number 2 at a 2H rate, pay rate, effective 11/26. He is temporarily replacing Ronnie Thacker, who's off on sick leave. And finally, Judge, we need approval to terminate Randall Hill. He's the employee we discussed in executive session at the last court meeting. We need approval to terminate him effective December 3rd, 2012. He's the one that's been off on the workers' comp since October 24th, 2011.
That is my recommendation, my motion. To have a second. Second. Second, Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dotson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris? Yes. Judge Rutherford?
Yes. We finally got the news that had coal miners call back. I think it's 162. That's what we had. Charles Carlton, that's the information that we had. One of the operations is in Johns Creek, the other's in Peter Creek. From what information we've got, that coal business is on the rebound. It's going to be real slow, probably not a lot of action until the spring. But in talking with the officials in the different corporations doing business in the county, it looks like that they're going to come back. A lot of the market looks like maybe in Europe and exporting some coal, but it'll have to get time to set up the contracts and so forth, and hopefully that will happen. Price of natural gas, Charles Carlton, what was it the last time you looked? $3.60, so we're way above the dollar or something that we started out with. Also, we'll praise you of this information that Charles Carlton finally we got from the state. The information that we had was for the quarter before, because they are quarter behind. Am I giving the correct information? They are a quarter behind, which means that we was in a little better shape, because we couldn't understand when they say that the severance tax was $65 million and we got hits as hard as we hit. And we're not through looking at that either, because I said it's either a mistake or something has happened. So we're still looking at that, but it was because they're held back one quarter. We are in better shape probably than we thought we was in. Next, we'll ask the county attorney.
Judge, I just have one very brief matter. As you know, the coroner, we were going to be moving him over to the Hall of Justice to save the money where he presently has his office. And we have a lease with the lodge. The anniversary date on that lease is July the 12th, and we need to give 90 days notice, and I would ask the court's permission to go ahead and send a certified letter notifying them that we are going to terminate the lease effective July 12th, 2013.
Recommendation of the county attorney's office. Need a motion to authorize the county judge executive to sign and to certify it. Motion, Magistrate Johnson. Have a second. Magistrate Robinson. Have a roll call vote, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Johnson?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dotson?
Yes.
Magistrate Harris?
Yes.
Judge Rutherford?
Yes. Now I'm going to give the privilege to Magistrate Johnson to asking for the motion to adjourn, and the second by Hillman Dotson, who tried to accommodate.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a motion second. Have a roll call vote.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Johnson?
Yes, I think we should give him another 10 minutes.
Now, Chick, if you don't want to talk, just give me your time like they do down there in the house. Just say, I want to give my time to somebody else.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Robinson? Magistrate Dotson? Magistrate Harris? Judge Rutherford?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.